Chapter 1: The Parade on Bell Tower Street. Viewed from outer space, the planet Donglin was a beautiful sight. Its blue oceans and endless green plains, along with the eerily pale mining pits dotted across its surface, were bathed in the radiance of the distant sun filtered through particles high up in the atmosphere, giving off an ineffable, hazy beauty, like an oil painting left to gather dust over many years of neglect. To the residents and orphans of Donglin District, however, this planet held nothing but rocks besides the rocks themselves. Even the green plains seemed to them, in their stoically numbing gaze, to be just swathes of grass covering up riches and glorious history. Their eyes were accustomed only to seeing through the grass straight to the mineral veins that the people of Donglin craved most. Administratively, Donglin was classified as a second-tier region, possessing exactly the same administrative rank as the capital system with its 3 prominent planets and the Westland region. But in the hearts of the United Federation's citizens, distant Donglin had already become a forgotten corner. Besides its name appearing at events celebrating the 600th anniversary of the Federation's founding, for many of those living in prosperous and civilized societies, Donglin had ceased to exist. The Donglin region had only one planet, Donglin Planet. This seemed tautological, yet was not, because the origin of the region's name was none other than Donglin Planet itself. This showed how important, in the extremely distant past, this lone planet on the furthest fringe of the Triangulum system had been to human society as a whole. But after Donglin Planet's mineral veins of all varieties had been completely mined out, it had become an increasingly desolate world. Here there were only rocks, no minerals, only rocks besides the rocks themselves. Those with the means to leave Donglin had already departed long ago. Leveraging their professional skills and accumulated wealth, guaranteed by relatives in the capital system or Westland region, they had succeeded in obtaining residential transfer certificates and taken increasingly rare flights away from this place growing ever more devoid of vitality. Those able to obtain residential transfer certificates were after all a minority. The planet, though half abandoned, still had to support many lives. In a relatively developed material civilization, food and clothing were no longer problems people had to worry about. Donglin Planet's residents continued on living in stability. Social security payments still played an extremely important role, currency still circulated smoothly. This world still had companies, airports, food processing plants, mecha maintenance stations, computer communication centers, and even a military base. Everything that should and could exist was present on Donglin, yet a subtle, stale, and moribund odor still could not be concealed, seeping out from every street, every building, every unemployed miner sitting idly watching TV with coffee in hand. Thousands of years of mining had provided the Federation with an unceasing flow of support, like a great river carrying nutrients to the plains. But now this river had gradually run dry, becoming a foul-smelling creek. And the support given back by the Federation was clearly insufficient because human fulfillment relied on more than just survival. Through thousands of years of history, Donglin's people had cultivated hardy, industrious spirits. And even the succession of mining disasters stretching back to antiquity had not made them flinch in the slightest. But the situation before their eyes now filled them with thick sorrow and helplessness. A life without mines to dig and nothing to do. Devoid even of mining accidents, this was absolutely not the life the people of Donglin wanted. The hardy, industrious people of Donglin were known in the Federation as Donglin's Rocks. But the people of Donglin today had become increasingly silent, increasingly numb rocks, molding themselves into statues, rooted on their accustomed bar stools and living room sofas, as if they would never move again. A soap opera is enough for the foolish masses' lives. Deputy Chief Bao Longtao of the No. 2 Hedong Police Sub-Bureau muttered to himself, his face sunk in gloom as he walked in the cool breeze along Bell Tower Street, watching the residents sitting numbly drinking in the street corner bars. Deputy Chief Bao was one of Donlin's rocks himself, his smileless, stony face possessing endless deterrent force against the gang forces lurking in Bell Tower Street's shadows. When he patrolled Bell Tower Street, the black market wild ox meat hawkers fled at warp speed, befitting his awe-inspiring bearing in his black uniform and 7 subordinates behind him. But Deputy Chief Bao suddenly remembered there were 3 reporters with him today. With a thud in his heart, he reflexively straightened his collar and turned to face the female reporter with mic in hand, forcing a smile more excruciating than crying that split his stony face like aged leather. The public order on Bell Tower Street has always been good. Deputy Chief Bao did not want to leave a frivolous impression on this female reporter and spoke as calmly as he could. This was a task handed down from the provincial governor's office, and he did not dare treat it carelessly.